land register that is on block 190, block 193, and block 530. That is Chagwe Mukono municipality. The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development is mandated to ensure the rational and sustainable use, effective management of land, orderly development of urban and rural areas, and also the provision of safe, planned, and adequate housing for social economic development. The ministry achieves this through performing a number of responsibilities and functions, among which are issuing land titles and maintaining what we call the National Register. Over the years, the ministry operated a manual registration system that had several limitations. And after computerizing the land register, we could detect a number of issues for multiple overlapping titles in some of our urban areas. In some urban areas such as Mukono town blocks were made to sit on the top of the original mile blocks when the urban centers were established during the colonial times in the 1950s. The town blocks were demarcated, disregarding the area existing original blocks, which led to the creation of overlapping titles. Hence, errors were created in the register. In line with the mandate, the ministry took it upon itself to clean and notify the community of what we had detected. On block 190, block 193, and block 530, Chagwe County. We decided to take on this as a pilot to see how we can have a clean, authentic, and acceptable land registry in the country. I even informed His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, of what we were going to do in the ministry to rectify the errors that had been made previously. Multiple overlapping titles existed on the blocks I have told you in Mukono municipality, which were used by fraudsters to defraud members of the public, including financial institutions. And against this background, we had to halt transactions for some time on the above mentioned blocks. We undertook a cleanup exercise to rectify and clean the register. While doing this exercise, public notices were issued through newspapers, and the public hearings were also subsequently conducted, involving the landowners, all their representatives, and also those other people who were affected on the respective blocks. So a total of 1,237 titles were identified for cancellation, which has been done successfully on block 190, 193, and 530. The land register of the above referenced blocks is now clean, and for the purpose, we want to communicate to the general public that the above blocks within Mukono municipality are now open for transactions. The Ministry of Lands and Urban Development assures the public that we are committed to attaining a clean national land register, and to that effect, we are also going to have blockchain introduced to make sure that our register is enhanced made safe, but also very easy for members of the public to use. We want to see that we limit face-to-face interface, but also create an avenue or a system which is safer for everybody, but also which is very difficult to be tampered with. And we believe that the new technology of blockchain and artificial intelligence will help us to achieve what we are trying to do. The Ministry of Lands, with great enthusiasm, we appreciate the public for their patience during the cleanup exercise. We also want to appreciate the ministry staff, particularly Mukono Ministry Zonal Office, for their efforts towards this exercise, and the ministry's top management for always being there to support the team. The people with ID, that is National Identification Registration Authority, to see how those teams can work together to have a clear strategy on how this technology is going to be implemented. But they are doing this under the leadership of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, with her technical staff and also other technical staff from other responsible ministries. So we believe that once they have agreed on how it is going to be done, then work will start immediately. The acting commissioner has told you we are taking it as enhancement. And technology, I would say that technology gets outdated very fast. The technology that was used 10, 15 years ago, today you may find that it is not very fit to be carried on with. And that's why even other countries are embracing this very technology of blockchain and artificial intelligence. Because when new technology comes up, it comes up with other features that can enhance what we call security measures, but also makes the work more effective and efficient. So we shall move with you as we take on this new technology. How long has the process taken? We identified this in 2022, May. Then halting transactions on the block was done in August. Because when a challenge was identified, then these people had to work, and then we forged a way forward. How would we go about it? We realized that allowing transactions to continue, we would be allowing the challenge or the problem to escalate. So we said no, let's take a bold step, inform His Excellency, we hold transactions and all the stakeholders who were concerned. And that's how we managed to get at this 2022 August. Then today, we are opening again for transactions. And somebody was saying, how about the affected people of the titles, the 1,237 titles that were cancelled? There is nobody who is affected, because as of now, ever since the due process, the cancellation process, nobody came up to say that my title is cancelled, meaning that those titles were hanging into the systems. So hanging in the system, they would make, if we allowed them to stay, they would make a multiple effect of other errors to be created. So these titles that were cancelled are titles where nobody came to challenge. So meaning they were hanging. And now the landlords are on their land and they have their titles, because remember we are talking about overlaps and multiple titles. Even where a resurvey needs to be done, it will be done to ensure that at least there is accuracy in whatever data is captured from the ground. Somebody talked about how big is this problem in the country. We would say that this problem is more detected in these urban areas or urban centers that were created long ago. When they were creating, they thought they were creating something new, disregarding what already had been put in place, and they ended up putting blocks and then overlaps because of the creation of those urban centers. So that's why we said we are using Mukono as a pilot. If we succeed with Mukono, then we will roll out to other areas. The measures, the Commissioner has talked about them. The cost implication, we'll give you the details when I get the details from the Permanent Secretary of Blockchain and Artificial Intelligence. Digitizing, that started long ago, that what new things we are bringing. I think I've talked about that with technology, you need to keep on being flexible and also making changes where need be. If there is a better technology that has come up and we feel that it will safeguard Ugandans and their land, then we embrace it. And we believe that it will help us to go a long way in having an authentic digital register, which is safe. That is our communication for today. I want to thank you so much for your kind attention.